This is One on One. Hi, Steve Adubato. You can hear the chaos behind me. We're at the North Ward Center in Newark, New Jersey. Just finished the Dr. Martin Luther King Legacy Award, which one of the awards was given to your former staffer, Modea Butler, who was leaving to go to the private sector, right?
Yeah, it's my chief of staff. I mean, people look at the mayors and the principals, but usually it's their number ones. The chiefs of staff have the toughest job out there every day. So he's a guy that has just served the city incredibly and then served the state because he was my state director. So he's had a great career in public service. Now he's going off to make some money to send his daughter to college.
You know what's so interesting as we talk about Dr. King, his legacy, so many years after 1968 when he was assassinated, what do you say, Senator, about the state of race relations in our nation right now, and particularly as it relates to a lot of the anti-Muslim rhetoric and, frankly, emotion out there?
Well, you know, we've made extraordinary strides. We have so much to be proud of in terms of the gains and achievements of not only individual African Americans, but African Americans as a whole. But we still live in a society that has a lot more work to do and a lot of deep divisions that we need to heal and bridge. And African Americans, if you look at outcomes in the criminal justice system, blacks are not more likely to use drugs or deal drugs. Actually, the indices are the same for blacks and whites, but they're about 4 times more likely to be arrested for it. So you see these racial disparities in a lot of sectors in our society that show we have more work to do as a community in coming together. And this isn't about advancing African American cause, it's about advancing the ideals of America. Now that said, you know, I really reject discrimination or hate or bias or implicit bias of any type. And we've got to understand that this is a nation that has benefited from all different folks, all different faiths. I mean, we cheer Muslim athletes, from Muhammad Ali to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We benefit from Muslim scientists and researchers and business people in terms of the economy we enjoy. We need everybody, and we can't be a country that in any way starts to discriminate against people because of color of skin, race, or because of religion.
But Senator, what do you make of a lot of the anti-Muslim emotion out there, particularly as it relates to the issue of immigration? The fear post-San Bernardino, post-Paris, what do you make of it?
Look, fear is toxic and destructive, and you cannot allow incidences like that to change us and who we are. We are a nation that have been accepting immigrants for generations, and we're better because of it. And not just immigrants from Europe, but immigrants from all around the globe. Not just Christian immigrants, but immigrants from many different faiths. We are better because of our past immigration policies. Let's not let fear change us and who we are. Now, that doesn't mean I'm on the Homeland Security Committee. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be vigilantly doing what we need to do to keep ourselves safe. But I hate the toxicity of fear, and then it turns some into demagogues, others trying to rile up more fear than's necessary. We need to be practical in protecting ourselves, but stay true to our values.
How are we doing dealing with ISIS?
We're dealing with it in a way that has some acknowledgement of strategies working, you know, pulling in partners with Muslim nations, pulling in partners in Europe. We're making some significant grounds. But this idea that this is going to be some kind of easy, quick battle, we're going to win it, they're really misunderstanding the nature of the threat, which is not just into the theater of Iraq and Syria. It's also a global threat, as you see them exporting terror to places as far away as North Africa, to even Europe. This is going to be a long fight where we must stay vigilant, as I said, and we must invest resources into making sure that we ultimately defeat ISIS, not only in the theater that it's in, but the global threat of ISIS.
Senator, let's talk a little bit about people's attitude towards guns. The president, executive order on the issue of guns, didn't want to go through Congress, wasn't confident about going through Congress on that. To what degree do you understand people's feeling right now post, again, San Bernardino, post-Paris, and Donald Trump saying if people had guns, fewer people would have died in that situation? Do you understand some people wanting to have guns now?
Look, I don't think that there's a contrast here. We can affirm American Second Amendment rights, but keep the guns out of the better to keep guns out of the hands of terrorists or people that mean harm. You know, most of Americans agree that you shouldn't just be able to walk into this country. You're a foreign national, shouldn't just be able to walk into a gun shop and buy lots of guns. Well, our current laws allow that. If you're suspected of terrorism, you're on the terror watch list. Should you be able to just walk in and buy a gun? If you are a spousal abuser, threaten your spouse. We have a lot of murders in America every year, domestic violence. Should you be able to go out and buy a gun? No. We need reasonable gun safety efforts that allow law-abiding citizens like you and I to assert our Second Amendment rights, but not bad people with bad intent. We've got to do the common sense things. And by the way, most gun owners, over 70% of gun owners, agree with this. This isn't a Republican or Democratic strategy. This is a common sense strategy that the overwhelming majority of Americans, hey, we could do some more things to keep guns out of the hands of bad people.
Let me ask you this about Hillary Clinton. We don't know how things are going to play out as it relates to the email situation. Has she handled it well?
Look, I think that at the end of the day, we're going to get the tests now. By the time this thing airs, we'll be done with New Hampshire, we'll be done with Iowa. I think that she is the front runner, not just in the Democratic field, but in the field altogether, because of her qualifications, because of her experience, because that she's actually accomplished things as a senator, as a head of the State Department, as well as even as First Lady. So I think the voters are going to see her for the totality of who she is. She's made mistakes and she's admitted to them, but the reality is there's really been, not in modern era, has it been somebody as qualified as this who's running for office.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you very much.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Holy Name Medical Center in Teaneck, New Jersey, Bergen Community College, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, Delta Dental of New Jersey, Partners for Health Foundation, the Fidelco Group, and by the Russell Berry Foundation. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.